Hey kids, it's Mr. Fly here, hope you're well. Out and about today still on the big old KTM 790 Adventure R that KTM UK have very kindly loaned me for a few weeks. Today I'm in search of one of my favourite local green lanes. It's at a place called Colesbury. So if you want to see how I get on off-road on the 790 Adventure R, stick around and stay tuned. So what has come over me then? Why am I going to try a bit of off-roading on the Adventure R? Well, because basically this is the version of the 790 Adventure which is more off-road focused. It's got massive travel in the suspension, as has the normal bike actually, but this one has a adjustable suspension on it. Not that I'm adjusting it at all, I'm just leaving it set as it comes from the factory. It also has the Metzeler Karoo 3 tyres, which are sort of a bit off-road biased. They're road and off-road, but they look quite knobbly, as you can see in these pictures, and I've got a little bit of confidence that they might be alright for a bit of light green laning. So that's the pros of going off-road on this bike. It's designed for that sort of game. The downside is it's actually a very tall bike. I'm quite a short fella. This bike's got an 880mm seat. I can barely touch the ground on it. My feet are on their absolute tippy toes, so that's a little bit worrying. And the bike is whilst not super heavy for a big adventure bike at something like 200 kilograms wet, it is still 200 kilograms wet, and I've rather foolishly recently filled it up with fuel, so it's at its heaviest. On the plus side, the Adventure does carry its weight low down, so the centre of gravity is nice and low, which should be a plus. So I'm hoping that's going to equal out the fact that I can barely touch the ground. Anyway, green lanes in the southeast of England are very few and far between. I've ridden most of them round here on my little Honda CRF, including this one. But this was one of my sort of favourites. There's nothing too difficult about it. There's a little section through some wood, and then some section through a track. It's only, you know, a mile or so long. It's nothing too terrible. So I'm hoping, as an introduction to off-roading on this, I might even get away with it. It'll just be a good chance to see whether an off-road numpty like me genuinely could ride it off-road. If I find out that I can't, then I'm in trouble, because that means I will have dropped it. And let's hope that I don't bend it, because the bike's not mine. Anyway, let's go and find the start of it, and here goes nothing. Right, if memory serves me correctly, said green lane is just down here on the left somewhere. Is this right? Yeah, I think so. Well, this is all very lovely, but sadly I took a wrong turn, and the green lane I'm after isn't around here. So I need to do a bit of hunting around, see if I can find it. I'll be back with you shortly. Aha! This is the right road. I can see the green lane at the end. I've selected off-road mode on the bike so that ABS and traction control doesn't catch me out. Let's have a look. Right, it's November to April. You can't use it November to April. I think that's inclusive. Yeah, so it's locked. How annoying. It's April the 30th, something like that. 1 or 2 days to go before it's opened up. What a pain. Alright, I'll have to come back in a few days then. Oh well, bear with me. Alright folks, massive anti-climax. Got a bit of a confession to make. When I got up to that green lane then, and I said I'll come back in a few days, fully intended to do so, and I then turned round on that bit of dirt that you saw in front. I'd turn the camera off and I'd turn around on there, and honestly, turning this bike round on that dirt was really difficult because it's so tall. Not because it's didn't have much grip because the tyres are great, or because it's too heavy, but I'm 5'8", and this bike, the Adventure R, is 280mm tall. Sorry, 180mm tall, what we're talking about. That would be high. But anyway, it's a very tall seat, and I can only get my feet, just my tiptoes on the deck, on the road, and it's okay on the road. I can just about get away with it. But turning around on that bit of dirt just there, you know, the ground undulated a bit, and there's a moment which I put my foot down just to steady the bike, and the ground was about just a centimetre further away than I anticipated, and I nearly dropped the bike. And it frightened me, to be honest. And I know this is wimping out, but this isn't my bike. If I drop it and I damage it, I have to pay for that damage. I just didn't feel like it was a sensible move, thank you, to come back and ride once that green lane is open. I know that's wimpy of me, and I know that's me being a bit of a girl's blouse, But not only might I drop and damage the bike, but I could drop and damage myself. I think if I had the lower seat on it and I could get my feet flat on the ground, I wouldn't have hesitated to try that green lane out. As I say, I have done it before on my CRF a number of times, and there's nothing difficult about it if you feel confident on your bike. But frankly, I don't feel at all confident on this bike when it comes to riding on the dirt on undulating ground, which is such a shame because I'm sure it's super capable. That's just me being a wimp. If you're an off-road demon and you're taller than 5'8", fill your boots, go for it. But I'm sticking this back into street mode. There we go, I'm back in street mode, and I'm staying firmly on the road from now on. That was a heart in mouth moment. So really sorry about that, folks. I was thoroughly intending to bring you some off-road riding, as you saw on the bike, and I feel I've let you down, but you know, sometimes I think you just know when something's right or wrong, and that was going to be wrong. Alright, sorry about that, sorry for the massive disappointment. Look forward to speaking to you next time. Until then, this has been the Mr. Flyer. Cheerio.